Sublime magnificence.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with another episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. And as usual, I am joined by my co-host, running one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey, what's happening, Omari? Thank you again for having me. This is the Movie Club podcast where we pass movies back and forth or whatever the media is. And the reason why I love this thing is because every once in a while we're forced into things. And sometimes it could be good, sometimes it could be bad, but I'm forced to go outside of my. But sometimes it's just a thing that you missed, and then other times it's a thing that that you would have intentionally avoided, and that's what makes this really interesting sometimes. So I'm really excited about today's thing.
Exactly, and once again, the two of us have been a little bit pushed out of our zone by our special guest that we have, new to the channel, friend of the channel, friend of mine. Great individual himself, hilarious guy, Fluffles.
And I'm Fluffles. That's my intro because I don't really do an internet presence.
It's okay. Give it time.
For folks in the Omari verse, they will know what Fluffles is.
Yeah, where we are doppelgangers, and the joke for probably at least a decade now has been that we probably also both would have been black, except that I was born as a 10-week preemie, so I didn't quite have enough time in the oven to develop.
Yeah.
So it would have been a little
pigmentation's
closer.
the last step,
Yeah.
So. That's right. Yes, another one of my best friends. I said it numerous times how gifted I am to have a lot of best friends in the world, and I continue to say that with these guests on the show. And this week we've got one brought. Usually, when we have a guest brought on the show, they bring a movie in to show to the two of us. And this time we've brought one. What are we watching this week?
We haven't brought one.
Oh no, you have. I said you have. You have.
Okay.
I brought one.
We have
Malignant.
been. I said we have been brought one. That's
And it is not, this guy hasn't seen, it's these guys haven't seen.
Oh, that is
Because I brought Malignant, my favorite horror film of 2021, which wasn't a great year for horror, unlike last year, good lord. But it's amazing. It's from James Wan, who created all the things. Saw, Conjuring, Insidious, produced Mortal Kombat, directed Aquaman. He's responsible for basically all the things. He made New Line, I think, about $17 billion. Said, I want to direct the movie I want with no producer, edits, notes, nothing like that. And he made this masterpiece, guys. If you don't like it, I'm so sorry, but it's so good. It's just so good.
Okay, yeah, so there you go. It's Malignant 21 movie made by, what was the guy's name?
Malignant from
James
2021.
Wan.
Madison is paralyzed by shocking visions of grisly murders, and her torment worsens as she discovers that these waking dreams are in fact terrifying realities. It is directed by James Wan. It is written by James Wan, as well as help from a couple other folks, and it stars Annabelle Wallace, Maddie Hassan, and George Young are the top billed list on IMDb.
It's always
So you kind of already broke into it, but Fluffles.
Sorry.
You love this movie, and you kind of wanted to bring horror. You at one point in the chat I think the exact quote was, or near quote is, "I'm aiming to be your horror guy."
Yeah. So like, if I come back on, I want to just bring different horror films because of the 52, 53 videos you guys have done. 2 are horror. Yes, we're counting Jaws. It's not an adventure movie. It's not. No. It's a monster movie. It's a horror movie. Watch it again. The girl at the beginning, horrifying. That scuba diver's head, knowing where it's gonna come out of that boat, horrifying. Quinn getting torn in half at the end of the movie, horrifying. Yes, there's allowed to be fun things, but it's a freaking monster movie. It's a horror. So you guys, if you want me back, are going to be covering more horror films, and I'm not going to dive into this horrific cesspool of things I've watched before. I want to keep things accessible and things that, especially knowing Omari, things that I think he'll enjoy, rather than going, I know that you're going to hate this, but I enjoyed it. So, like, with Hereditary, like, I don't think that'd be his thing. Midsummer, I don't think it'd be his thing.
Right.
But, so this one was like, it's so much fun. It's really dark. I know I just said it. It's really fun. It's just great.
So I'm interested, like, why horror? What is your connection to horror kind of thing? Like, why is that the genre you want to champion? I
grew up on it. From the age of 5, I was watching Terminator.
What was the first? Okay, Terminator.
The Terminator was the first, which is a horror film, and I will debate with anyone on why it's a horror film.
Omari and I started talking about it off camera a couple of weeks ago or something, and I was like, it's absolutely the slasher damsel in distress model of, like, you know, if you pulled Terminator out and put Jason in, it's a horror. It's a horror film.
Yeah.
So that was an interesting.
No, I've been watching horror forever. My mom was very open about it. She got me into horror films, and even though where it was like Halloween, watched them. Friday, watched them. Child's Play, especially. The first dream I can remember as a kid, I was like 5 or 6. I remember dreaming about Chucky from Child's Play 2, where he kills the teacher with a ruler or a yardstick, I think. He just beats her to death with it.
Jesus.
And I remember having a dream where he was chasing me around my entire dream. I don't remember if he got me or not, or if I got away, or if right as he got me, I woke up. That's my first dream. And since then, horror's just been my thing.
See, we went in 2 opposite directions there, because like when I was a little itty bitty kid, my sister worked at a Family Video. I don't know if that's a chain outside of St. Louis.
But like Hollywood Blockbuster, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video.
I miss them so much.
I think their big thing when we were kids, at least here in local stores, was it had a much more expanded video game section than any other store did early on in the video game days, where you could rent entire consoles and take them home, and lots of cool stuff. But my sister worked there, and she's always been into horror, and she would bring home all kinds of horror movies. And so I've seen a lot of the Child's Plays, and they never really affected me. But then she brought home I think it was initially made for TV version of Stephen King's It.
Yeah, 1990 miniseries.
And Tim Curry's Pennywise scarred me as like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Scarred me, and that may have been the precipice of me avoiding horror for basically the rest of my life. in a general term, I eventually they ended up all bleeding in and creeping in. As we talked off camera, I've seen a bunch of the greatest hits that happened over the course of my life, like the big money makers or whatever. But I'm hardly ever seeking them out. So that's just, it's funny.
My thoughts on it are complicated, but ultimately, when I think of, especially Tim Curry, Pennywise, the only thing I can think of is the damn shower. him coming up in the drain, and then even though if you go back and watch it, like he turns into this weird stop motion like puppet claymation thing as he goes back down the drain. But it's just thinking about it, it's horrifying. You watch it, it's like, oh, that's kind of funny now.
I finally watched it as an adult in my 20s, and yeah, it doesn't hit nearly as hard. I was like, this is what like
imagination
made me scared of clowns for like a decade.
I can see that. We're keeping it on that and early horror movie memories and stuff. For me, I fell asleep. It was one of those movies where I was watching it, I had heard a lot about it, and rather than be horrified and scarred, I had fallen asleep. And not to say I never really was scared by a horror movie. That'd be just straight up lying. I scare easily, but I think that's another reason why I usually avoid horrors, because I do scare easily. You know,
I think was it a double VHS?
What
it might have had to be more. I know that it is 2 DVDs because Mom and I several years ago, when she hadn't seen it at least in a while, like we ended up getting the second DVD instead of the first, or maybe we got both and I put in the second DVD and we watched the second one first, and then after it's over, it's like, I remember this differently. So later on that evening, we go back and we put in the first one. And I'm like, we just watched the movie. Like, I don't know what this is. Is this the like Star Wars cut, the way to watch things in Star Wars? We just did that with it.
Yeah, I can see that. But that's the main reason why I hadn't seen like this or stayed away from horrors, just because generally either they would take too long to ramp up, and me in my youth, I was just, action, stimulus, you know. And so some of them I might have found boring initially when I was younger, but then as I got older, it's just the idea, like wanting to be scared on purpose, never really appealed to me. Like, I get it, like that edge of your seat anticipation, because you can get that in any kind of film. Like, tension is tension, but I don't know, horror just, for some reason, it just never fully clicked with me. So that's part of why I just kind of went away from it. Like, again, it's not like, oh, I'm too much of a man to be scared by horror films. Quite the opposite. I'm terrified. Well, maybe not quite.
I mean, there are still. I went and watched Terrifier 2 in theaters, which that's certainly a movie. And for the next week and a half, I was like looking over at my closet, going, "There's no door on that closet, and it's really dark in there." I'm not a fan. Don't like it.
Fair enough. So,
and all I watch is horror movies. And I'm potentially considering doing an Art the Clown, the antagonist from the 2 Terrifier movies, for Halloween.
Nice.
But I don't like looking at my closet and going, is there a clown in there? Because that would ruin my night.
Yeah. So that said, we know why we haven't seen it. Bill, what were you expecting from this Malignant film, given what you know of?
Well, I'm aware of James Wan and his career loosely and slightly more in detail. I'm pulling up his career now. Like I didn't even realize that he's listed as a writer on Saw, on the original Saw film.
Yeah, that's
interesting. But I have seen the Conjuring movies. And those are good for horror films, as my loose viewer of a horror film guy. I've seen his involvement in the Furious movies. I've seen him doing Aquaman. So I was confident that it was gonna look pretty cool. His films always have a pretty interesting energy with the camera. So I was kind of excited for that, and beyond that, I was, I was being my normal horror self. That was like, okay, horror. If I'm true to it. And I was like, all right, but it's James Wan, so it's gonna look cool, like the Conjuring movies. Yeah, that's okay, cool. And that's about where on the level of where I was expecting. You?
Me, having not looked at I don't try to look at the little taglines or synopses for the movies before I watch them, because I like
synopses,
whatever the
that is indeed what they're called.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Before I watch them, because I like getting the whole initial reaction, like, and trying to figure stuff out. But I was like, okay, so horror movies, so kind of like Bill was saying, okay, horror shit, jump scares and whatnot. However, this is a good one from what I'm told. You don't do jump scares in good horror movies or some shit. So I'm like, horror shit and cancer related? Mm-hmm. It's called Malignant.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what I have here. I know it's my first time watching, like, horror shit. So people are gonna probably be murdered and stuff in cool fashion sometimes horrifying as well, hence the title or the genre. But also somehow it's gonna deal with cancer because it's called Malignant. And that's all I really had going in here. Like, how does cancer... Is it a cancer monster? What's going on here?
I mean, isn't all cancer a monster? And as we learn in the opening of the movie, it's time to cut out the cancer. The most repeated line I think I've ever seen.
Going right into the initial reactions. The second that lady said that, I'm like, okay, yes, it's cancer. It's a movie about cancer. And the second she said that, I have my notes from the first time I watched it. I'm like, it's time to cut out the cancer. ... Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, we got right into it at the beginning. The fucking... Oh God! What are we doing? It's been crazy. It was a hell of an opening with that and everything going on. Apparently they cut to some socks that had like cats on them or something that somebody was wearing.
Like panda bears or
yeah. And I was like, so those cat socks are gonna be important. I was wrong.
I think it's just supposed to. I think it's just telling you that it's a child. That's just a shot to say this is like, think sweet little child.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense, because I'm like, these cat socks. The killer's gonna show up later. He's gonna fucking pull out the fucking cats, or you're gonna see like he's got something with that pattern on, and it's like, it's you. The cancer, like that kind of shit. Because usually,
so the killer.
No, usually the Chekhov's gun style, not Chekhov's gun, but the kind of evidence like. Oh, if I see it with a fucking prime thing, he's the killer. I know now. Like, if I were to just do that, you know what I mean? That's what I thought with the socks. I don't know why, but I was wrong.
All I can picture is just now Mick Foley with the sock on, and it's just Socko, but it's just like a cat sock. It's just a cat sock.
Right? Who knows what's gonna happen?
And he's just like pulling people in half by the jaw, just going.
Yeah. I was telling Omari that's one of the rumors of what Endeavor's going to do in their purchase of WWE, since they're a big entertainment company as well as also owning UFC, is that some of their more licensable characters are going to truly just become characters like Iron Man, to where you can make a Undertaker horror film. You can make a Mankind horror film.
I can actually recommend a horror movie that Mick Foley has a small role in. I can recommend a horror movie that Chris Jericho has an even smaller role in.
Okay.
Ooh, how about a horror movie that Kane is the killer?
I know.
How about that one?
WWE's been making some movies for quite a long time.
That's why I was like,
I don't know if I would recommend a single one of them to anybody.
Well, no, the first two are very much like Mick Foley has he's the like overarching antagonist, but he doesn't have a big role. And Jericho's role in the movie Terrifier 2 is what he's in. Sorry, spoilers, I guess. He doesn't play himself. He's in like 10 seconds of the mid-credit scene.
Gotcha.
But no, Kane definitely pretty famous for See No Evil and nothing else.
But yeah. But yeah, when she cuts to the fucking, it's her pregnant with the abusive dude's kid, and like I said, I'm like, ugh. Okay, that's why it ends up
that
being
fucking guy.
Cancerous and evil. That's what. So now I'm trying to think the kid's gonna grow up to be the killer, and that's the cancerous or evil aspect of him. I get it. Because this dude's abusive. His kid's the cancer. The Malignant thing. I'm trying to figure out why the movie's called Malignant early on. Just so people can get an idea of my thought process as I go through these movies. But,
well, Mari, maybe she
twist.
maybe she wasn't pregnant with the baby. It was just a tumor.
Yeah, a malignant one. Exactly.
I was pretty frustrated with that scene because I thought, for the next 20 minutes or so, I thought that was a scene just to justify make us okay with his death right there. And I was like, you didn't need to go so hard. Like, it was so.
If it helps at all, we were all okay with his death.
Yeah,
right. No, we're all okay with his death. It just made me so uncomfortable. Yeah, and then I was like, but then to learn, you learn it all depends on when the movie's, I don't know. I feel like there's two turns in this movie that I had to go through, which about 20 minutes in, I'm thinking it's a tumor that was activated by that moment, and that's why we have that now. That's why it was so violent. Mm-hmm. But at that point, I'm thinking this is a purely mystical thing, right?
Yeah, I'm like, we got us a ghost, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, I'm literally picturing like smoke things coming out the back of her head or something, and that's gonna be our big reveal, is like a misty form coming out of the back of her head. Like, that's kind of my first revelation. And then obviously you get the big revelation at, I guess, right before the third act of this film.
Yeah.
But before that first revelation, I was just like, why'd you have to make the abuse scene so fucking
what it was like when
hard.
He dented the wall with her fucking head? I'm like, the fuck?
Babe, I'm so sorry. It was an accident. You grabbed her by the face and slammed her into the wall.
While yelling, you bitch.
You palmed her face.
And then we proceed to, like, everybody around this bitch's circle is like, yeah, he beats her.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the first time.
The neighbors
wouldn't let me see her.
Oh, he did. Yeah, the neighbors like, oh, he's dead? Well, yeah, he did used to beat her, so.
Yeah.
And you said no one broke in. All right. And yeah, to go with your point about not feeling bad about him dying, I see in my notes I even put, at least Derek got what he deserved. So
I was hoping it'd be worse, partially because Chekhov's gun with the socks. How about Chekhov's blender? That dude looks right down into that blender.
I agree.
That ghost doesn't go and shove his face into it? Come on.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of expected the blender too.
I'm mad that his death was relatively subtle with the we're just gonna turn your head around. It's okay. No, he deserved it the most.
He did. He did.
My God.
He definitely did.
Huh.
And then what is it? Yeah. So go a little bit further. You see the lady. We meet the sister. Haha. The sister. I'm adopted, by the way.
So,
wait, what?
Hold on. Like, I feel like I can't talk about that scene fully without talking about the movie as a whole.
Please. I have notes. I have plenty of notes.
The third act turns Gabriel and Madison into something that is not represented in that first death scene in particular. Like the invisible couch cushion shit and
He ran really fast.
but we see the couch cushion depress. Like I don't this movie is not consistent with Gabriel's power set. Basically my argument.
Whoa, Bill. There's not a single.
And I just want to know what
he
can and can't do.
Listen, he communicates with electronics the same way he leaves a butt print on a couch cushion because it makes sense.
Clearly,
they
there's
don't
some
have to
form of telekinesis here.
Madison's going to be joining the MCU.
Yeah,
actually, no. Little Dark, DCEU. There we go.
The just half of the times, like they do it, they go for the extra like psychological warfare aspect of it when clearly they could just. But no, let me turn on, fuck with the fridge, do all of this shit, like I'm a spirit, and then kill you.
Like, it could be as simple as, are we seeing Madison's vision of what's happening that Gabriel is making her see, so that way she's not seeing herself just like sitting on that couch, getting up, walking around. Instead, in Madison's visions, Gabriel has a little bit more of a mystical power set.
True.
Because like there's my issues are the very end moments where he's just like in the prison where he's just walking around snapping dudes' necks and nothing's getting mystical and he's getting
dudes' necks
or getting chased by the detective and like consistently just being about 5 feet ahead of that detective and never using any of these mystical powers we've seen him have. And he also gets shot, but then Madison isn't shot. Also, Madison's in the hospital, and they're never like, hey, so you got a big fucking tumor in the back of your head.
We ran like MRI.
Your head got hit on your head got. Yeah, she went to the hospital right after clearly experiencing head trauma. Two different
massive head traumas.
And they never noticed the giant fucking crack in the back of her skull from when she went to the hospital from getting her head hit on the wall.
So I don't know what in this movie is us.
I'm sorry.
Is us seeing the Gabriel cloud, the Gabriel veil? Like I think James Wan is, if you want to make the argument that it's intentional, James Wan is pulling the Gabriel veil over the audience's eyes, and we're not seeing the truth, just like Madison's not allowed to see the truth.
I can see that.
If you don't want to make that argument, then it's just a very lazy writing. Of like they can do what we want when we want it because they need to get to C and they're at B currently.
Still good.
Yeah.
Like for that first opening with Gabriel and Derek, he never sees the butt print, I don't think. He just turns on the lights and Gabriel's gone. I think I don't think Maddie was seeing that because she was asleep. Like she went to sleep, or maybe she passed out from blood loss. Who knows? But all the other little plot holes like that, I don't think James Wan cares, and I'm okay
But
with
she's
it.
not asleep.
It feels like it doesn't.
But she's not asleep. She is it. She is downstairs there killing him.
Right.
She's
but
not in that bedroom.
Gabriel was kind of knocking her out and making her see whatever he wanted her to see, and he became, and then like, I guess as she adapted to him, she was seeing more and more.
Okay.
What's going on?
And so that first time, he just makes her go to sleep. Because that's how Gabriel sounds, apparently. And,
Okay.
I can see that.
But no, for all the other definitely not plot holes, I just think James Wan was like, I want to make this movie, and I don't care. I can't tell you how much I don't care. It's just going to be a lot of fun. And there are movies where that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And
Have you seen his? I think it's a short called "Malignant Man."
No.
Where there's apparently some. I was reading something briefly.
Is that something
somewhere.
on his IMDb?
Yeah, I was reading it in the IMDb trivia of Malignant. But I think it was saying that it was a short that like is talking about the same themes, but it's more in the like. No, he's a super, like he has superpowers.
I have no idea what that is, actually. Yeah, I just Googled Malignant Man. Oh, it's related to Malignant Man. It's a graphic novel, apparently.
Oh, graphic novel.
Yeah. Here's my big, like, another fun plot hole or contrivance, whatever it actually is. How do they cut out most of Gabriel from the back of Madison's head? And they go, whatever we can't do because it will also kill her. We'll just put it back. We'll just put it back.
Literally just push it in.
And we'll put some like Flex Seal or some Gorilla Glue on her skull, and she'll look perfectly normal.
That's the thing is that
fine.
there's.
It's fine. Her skull is perfectly sized now. It's fine. It's fine, Bill. It's fine.
I just want to know what her power set is. I just want to know.
Listen, her power is your power, and she can take more than one.
And also, so the discussion my wife and I were having was, does Madison go to prison? Because I think Madison goes. I think Madison needs to go to prison.
Listen, she only killed 30 people, half of them, like 3/4 of them being cops.
Like everybody at that police station, like literally everybody except for that
people lived.
The nerdy girl who was into the detective.
Dude, wait, oh yeah, because especially since we're jumping around, I do remember putting in my notes when the nerdy girl's like in the evidence room and you hear it David go, I'm like, oh, glasses chick doesn't deserve this.
That's basically what my wife said out loud too.
I'm like, glasses chick did nothing wrong, and she hid, and then she got away. I'm like, okay, the filmmaker agrees. Glasses chick did nothing wrong to deserve being murdered. All she did was sit back and have an obvious crush on the main male lead.
Kakoa, like everyone, my God. Everyone except Maddie was just like, hey, Kakoa.
I did like the black cop lady.
Partner.
I was saying, I did like the black cop lady because she wasn't having none of this shit.
I ain't got time for this.
The whole time. Like, imaginary friend. Really? Dude's abusive. His wife killed him.
I didn't love either of them.
Clearly, she's the killer. She's got
I liked her because she wasn't having none of the bullshit. Obviously, clearly, the mystical shit happened, but I too would be like, literally everything you're revealing to us just incriminates you yourself more. Oh, it was my evil best imaginary friend that did it. I'm sorry. That's what we're going with now.
Go on.
That's what we're going with now. But yeah, when she kidnapped the cave lady, which at first I thought was Madison, because
Same. I was like, why do they have the same look and hair color and hairstyle? Makes sense later on. It was just like, I thought they were the same person until
she's
longer than I care to admit.
I thought they were the same person at first until I forget exactly when it was. I was like, oh no, she's in the attic and she sees like at the table, and I'm like, so she's killing people, but she's possessed by a villain, or maybe on some Fight Club shit. And then when she kills Dr. Florence, I'm like, okay, no, fuck possession. This is just straight up Fight Club. And so now I'm just like, she's just Fight Clubbing herself into thinking she's not murdering these people. Turns out it was kind of like my first thought of quote unquote possession.
Yeah.
But also like
it's
Fight
somewhere
Club.
in between. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was thinking, and I was thinking some sort of like black cloud smoke entity mirror version of herself, like literally,
like the effect
coming out the back of her head, kind of
like the effect they use to like cover the area to change it. Just you're now in my black smoke monster dimension. Watch as I murder this doctor that you knew once. But yeah, standout moments and shit. Yeah, that was the murders, the various murders.
I want to say in general, I'm double checking her name right now. Annabelle Wallace, who plays Madison, is putting in great work in this movie. I think she's doing a really good job. I didn't really love a lot of the acting in this film.
I'll give you that.
I think she does really good work. And her picture on IMDb looks nothing fucking like Madison, the character, which is crazy.
I just looked her up. No, I can't see it.
Like for a second, it made me question if I was about ready to say the wrong person.
I'm about to say, I think it's funny that the person named Maddie did not play the character named Maddie.
Yes,
that
thank
always
you.
cracks me up.
Yeah.
But I will say that I didn't recognize anybody in this movie except for two people, so I wanted to give them a shout out because I recognized both of them from a series that I love called Veronica Mars. And you got one of the doctors that is killed. The second doctor that's killed is the character Abel Kuntz in Veronica Mars. And then the police hypnotist is the school counselor in Veronica Mars. Oh. And those are literally the two people in this movie that I recognized.
Two more than I did.
Yeah, I didn't recognize anyone in the movie. Technically, I saw a bit of a, well, if you guys are aware of the channel on YouTube, Dead Meat, I'm sure, they do like kill counts, which is basically talk through the movie, talk through all the kills. So I had a general idea of what was going to happen, but this movie wasn't on my radar because it just came in, went in 2021. And then I watched it. I was just like, I love this movie so much. And I've probably watched it, partially prepping for this, partially just because it's fun, like 4 times in the last month, because it's just great and I love it. And a lot of the acting is bad, but kind of like the plot hole discussion, I feel like it's intentional. Like when we have Maddie and Sid on the bed, her going, for like half an hour, it feels like, I just wanted to have a blood connection to somebody. I just wanted to know what it was like to have someone I was with, and then just saying the same thing another 8 times.
Throughout the whole fucking...
I'm adopted. Then there's the like soap opera zoom in on Sid's face with that music playing is just, it's amazing, and I love it. I love all the acting, even when it's bad. And I was like, it is bad. It feels intentional instead of like they're just a bad actor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say they're bad actors. I will say like some of the fair. I will say some of the lines. Well, some people in the movie, sure, definitely. But for the most part, like I've said in other reviews, for some people, some lines I just felt like, could we do another take of that?
No.
As opposed to, because I'll see them do something else in the movie. I'm like, okay, so clearly you got this stuff, but we couldn't have redone that scene earlier. But overall, though, yeah, the acting or any lack thereof didn't ruin my enjoyment of the movie. Like, I still, the action and the stuff was still good in that regard. But yeah, speaking of standout moments, we touched on the prison. The fucking jail. The way that whole thing goes down, like, they just start beating up on her for no reason. Just
with like every 80s extra in every movie ever watching.
Yeah, what's the matter? You get a parking ticket or some shit? It's like,
the country club refused you admission. She just looks like a lady.
Nobody who comes into the prison yelling like that woman was yelling is there accused of something light. You know what I mean? Because she's like, and then she got all like this, and it's like, okay, if she's yelling like that, she's not accused of a parking ticket or a country club thing. Clearly, she's accused at the very least of something,
I don't know, Amari. You've worked food service.
I said accused at least.
You've never seen a lady with that sweater and that haircut screaming about her avocado salad?
I've seen. My fact of the matter is, I wouldn't be surprised if said lady turned around and then like physically assaulted someone because she didn't get the Cabo salad, avocado salad. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you don't fuck with that lady.
Yeah, I'm like, she clearly has a Karen mode if we're gonna go that far. And I can say that because the worst customer I ever had actually was named Karen. It was weird coincidence, but literally called me on my personal phone on some maximum I want to talk to the manager shit.
Lovely.
Yeah, that was weird. Anyway, so yes, I have been horrified by the Karens of the universe. To answer your question, but yeah, they just start beating up on her for no reason. Just
until she starts coughing up blood, and then she gets up, starts reacting, and they go, "No, this bitch having a seizure." Yeah, you were trying to beat her to death. That feels like a natural thing that could happen. She was coughing up blood a while ago, guys. You're trying to kill her.
And then we get the fucking.
And then third act, and everything is perfect.
Is that happening simultaneously as sister and mom are watching the VHSs?
No. First of all, we have to rewind slightly, and we have the sister on the phone with like the adoption agency during the day. She turns the corner in that coastal mountain bend, can see the hospital.
Why would you park there?
She arrives at night. Thank you.
Why would you drive?
Considers driving off a cliff.
I was screaming at the TV. You couldn't have parked 10 feet back?
Listen, Bill, there weren't any spaces. It's a busy hospital.
There are 3 other sides to this building that seem to be on land. Why are you entering on the cliffside?
Yeah, they don't set up they set up a bunch of scares. They don't happen, which works, but part of me is like, could have saved a little time. Could have had like the other adoption agency like mail stuff out, but I feel like James Wan just wanted to go, I'm gonna make her park this car on the edge of a cliff and see how many people freak out. And then,
yeah, I feel like that whole scene is like watch nothing happen. Hey guys, we'll watch you continuing to see something happen, and then no, like
a massive fake out.
Like, oh, what's gonna be here? Oh, literally everything is still here. Okay. All right. She gets records. Oh, she hears a sound. Oh shit. What's going to happen? Oh, we just cut to her safe at home with her mom, watching the tapes that she gathered. Okay, cool. I guess she got out of there fine.
Yeah. And
I do like that.
You know, little bit of exposition. Is that how we're going to define this as a little bit of exposition?
Yeah. This is. I feel like this is the major reveal of like, hey, if you fully haven't grasped what's going on here, let's spell it the fuck out for you.
Yeah, with cool effects. I like the practical effects of Gabriel.
Oh yeah, I was not ready for the little appendages. And the full thing growing out of her back too.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't prepared for that. I thought we were just gonna see like a little Voldemort in the first Harry Potter, just like poking out of her skull, being like, yeah,
Gabriel, kill your parents. But yeah, that was. Yeah,
I feel like isn't there something intercutting the jail massacre? That's kind of also getting her all like. I feel like
just exposition.
There's a hype. Okay.
I feel like the whole prison jail massacre is cut. I think over with them being like, this is what the term tumor is. Like, cause we get the first home videos of creepy, that still had me thinking it was some Fight Club shit. And when she started talking to herself on the cell, or talking to Gabriel on the cell phone, I'm like, this is some Doppio shit. For people who don't know who Doppio is, it's a JoJo's reference. Don't worry about it. But
thank you. That includes me.
It deals with it deals with kind of like a split personality that's talking to himself via a fucking cell phone at one point, where he's like, what the hell? What are you doing? Oh, no, don't tell me to do this. You gotta kill him. I don't want to kill him. Literally kind of what was going on here. So I was like, thinking it was
so what
split
came out
personalities.
First? Malignant or that JoJo's character?
JoJo.
But
JoJo's
what if
This guy hasn't seen.
No.
The JoJo's
what if I
character.
had a trump card for you? Malignant is just a remake of a 1982 zero-budget movie called Basket Case. I'm pretty sure
Is
that
it a
came
remake?
before JoJo's.
Is it a...
you
asked Malignant.
There are connecting threads. Yes, I did
Gotcha.
ask Malignant. And I was like, you know what? I got this card in my back pocket.
The bottom line is, that's what it reminded me of. And I was still wrong because it wasn't a split personality. It was a fucking... It wasn't until the fucking split your head open shit that I was like, oh... So it's not a split personality. It's their fucking conjoined twin brother dead in the womb shit. Okay. This is crazy, but it's fun.
It's so much fun. That head stomp. Oh, God. So much gore, so much fun. So much of it practical, too. Then the cop finally comes in, just opens fire, just starts shooting everything. Just starts shooting. Can't hear Maddie. Can't hear the earlier screaming from Scorpion.
She has killed like 40 people at this point. Like, I'm sorry, she's got like I'm of
yeah.
Like
she got to go.
Like Malignant 2 better open with her in a padded cell.
I agree.
Solitary confinement.
Yeah.
You can't
I don't disagree. I mean,
yeah, like she can't just be like, no, I have control of it now. I've put him in a mind palace. He's in mind jail now. No worries. And they're gonna be like, okay, cool. Hi.
You're free to go.
You and your superpowers. No. Oh, you mean you have full control over your superpowers now? No. I don't want it.
What are your superpowers?
Well,
you're slightly stronger to be able to lift up a medical bed,
which we're gonna touch on
that you still kind of struggled on, and
as soon as we talk about the police station fight, and just hundreds of shots being fired. No one hits them, like him once, and it's fun. It's just so much fun. Kakoa comes out, gets his arm broken. At least I thought. Then he popped up later in the hospital. cop who in 20 years could be Wanda Sykes comes out.
I totally thought Wanda Sykes I know she wasn't, but I was
for a moment, like the voice.
No, she's got vibes.
A little bit.
She's got Wanda Sykes vibes.
Yeah. She gets nearly disemboweled, and then as they run away, I'm gonna breakdance on top of this desk and then huck a chair 50 yards across the police station, hit you both, and then leave.
And then leave.
He wasn't even chasing. It was just twirl. And I'm so glad that where we were at Omari's rewatch was like 30 seconds before that. It's like, no, let it play. I know what's about to happen. And you hear the chair just explode. They cry out. I'm just like, yeah.
Good Malignant radio. But yeah.
Malignant radio is the best.
Yeah, the cop scene, that scene was fucking crazy. Just and just the way they did the whole movements with the body facing one way and the head facing the other. So
with actual people, by the way. Those were people. That wasn't CGI. That was someone wearing a medicine face on the back of their head and contortioning through a lot of that as stunt work. It's really cool.
That adds a lot. But yeah, and we get to the climax.
Sometimes it looks really goofy too.
Oh yeah, like earlier, Gabriel jumping down the ladder. It's like, oh, there's the Looney Tunes character, followed by Kakoa just eating shit with that dumpster.
Or like in the prison fight, just once we're allowed to see the truth, and they start showing the Madison face there. Yeah. Every once in a while during the spins, it's just so funny to just see her
1,000-yard blank stare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, it would bring us to the climax and the fucking thing where we find out Cave Lady was her mom.
Her birth mom.
Yeah, her birth mother.
Her bio mom. Get your terminology right.
Which I thought for the biggest chunk of the movie that was the doctor from the first scene. I think I literally exclaimed out loud to my wife of like, all right, so she was a doctor and now she's just doing like this underground tour thing. Like,
listen, there's no money in being a doctor, Bill. gotta do your underground tour guides.
Yeah, I
like I said, I thought
the movie had to spell out to me who the fuck she was.
Like I thought the underground tour guide, like I said earlier, was Madison. I thought that was her day job. And like when the lights turned off, she started
the first few seconds of that scene. That's what I thought as well.
She starts going down the hallway when the lights are like, turn the lights on, you stupid.
Or
don't
run.
Just walk down. I'm saying, but if you're gonna walk down the hallway because you heard a noise.
Yeah.
And then you see the lights turn on. At least try to turn the lights on before you walk down that hallway. Same thing with the fucker with the closet. Where his fucking I'm sorry. No. Dude, the doctor in the apartment. My window suddenly open and I have rain on the floor and clear footsteps to my closet whose lights are off. I could leave my fucking room because someone just came into my fucking house, or I can go into my dark closet that these footsteps are walking toward without even turning on the fucking light. Horror movie choices. I love it. And sure enough, fucking turns around and but I did like that they did the fake out where they just kept looking at his feet like he was just gonna get grabbed from under the bed.
Or like the Achilles. Like they were gonna do that fucking thing.
Yeah, but it's like, nah, he gets to get in bed fine.
Yeah,
but then
gets that amazing death face stab.
The weapon is awesome.
Oh, I love that weapon.
I love the weapon
on this planet.
Yeah, as far as like a villain weapon horror movies, that's
I do like the weapon.
that's up
It's
there.
like a
for sure.
Psy dagger thing.
With wings as the
Yeah.
as the as the
The
guard. Like, yeah,
fucking
it's
cool.
It's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, get to the mom. She's like, I'm sorry, Gabriel. I should have accepted you as my son the whole time. I'm like, okay, there's a little cheesy. But he's like,
Yeah, that's when the cop shows up and kills that emotion, the potential emotional arc ending.
Which
Right in its
also,
tracks.
you know, Madison gets shot twice.
Yeah.
Let's, we'll put a pin in that real quick. In Madison being shot twice.
Bed gets
Well, I mean,
tossed
she's
up
also
in the-
shot in the chase scene that she has with that cop earlier in the film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
no, it's fine.
but
She
she's
took a
not
long
shot.
rest, Bill.
Is it? No, it's
Then dice, get a hit.
yeah,
Gotta have
Yeah,
healing
yeah.
powers.
yeah. Gabriel's immortal. That's what we. That's. I think that's what. Or she.
I think she's
Yeah, there's
gotta
some
have-
sort of.
Yeah. All right, so and then yeah, bed gets tossed in the whole thing. Eventually, she's like, "It's my body. I'm taking over. Fuck you."
After everything he's done,
Now.
the trigger is her sister saying your three miscarriages were because of him. She has zero evidence on that, but it's a pretty good assumption.
Oh yeah, strong
Yeah.
assumption.
Based on what she's learned, it's a pretty good theory.
And the fact
But
that
it
he
is
tried to kill her.
it is purely a theory that she is just throwing out there.
Yeah, that's technically true. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the thing that is like, that's her trigger to go over the edge and take control of him.
Yeah, and she's like, "It's my body, and I'm gonna win. I'm putting you in this mental prison." Boom, and then she takes the bed and lifts it off her sister. Like it was always my body. If he
Gabriel
can do it,
makes
so
you
can
strong.
I. Yeah, if Gabriel can do it, so can I.
And I'm thinking she's gonna like get it with one hand and just kind of like blah. And yeah, if he can do it, so can I.
And again, Sid's fine, by the way, despite being crushed by a hospital bed. She's fine.
Right.
It's fine. It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Definitely
I got
no
shot twice.
internal bleeding.
Fine.
Her mouth definitely has blood, but I'm sure that's a different thing.
Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll always be in here. Next time, I'll be ready for you. This is like, so sequel baiting. We're getting round 2. Now she's got superpowers. She's gonna literally fight herself the whole movie.
I mean, like what is in the world of this movie? Let's just theorize for a second here.
All right.
What is happening after these credits?
I say
Like
she
how
goes to
many
she should
how
go
many
to prison.
members of your police force in Seattle, in this county in Seattle, district in Seattle are around?
Got to be 20 dead cops.
Like,
minimum.
It's got to be 20. 3 dead in the stairwell before we
Yeah.
see the slaughter.
Like the
And-
state police, the FBI are going to get involved.
She did get a bunch of criminals off the streets.
That she did, but
You know,
vigilantism
it
is
balances
also a
out.
crime. So,
I mean, the first one was self-defense.
yeah. Yeah, the other 19.
Maybe the next 12.
The other 19, not so much, but the first one, yeah. No, that was a self-defense too, because the other ones were scared because she killed that first one, so they attacked her. So now they all got it. Now it's all self-defense. It's fine. What was it? The fucking, but yeah.
Oh, as we were slowly pulling back, did anybody else, like the end of the movie, sisters are on the ground like holding each other, and we're slowly pulling back to reveal the biggest, weirdest grin on Mom's face. Did anybody else notice that?
I did not notice that.
It's
Fine, Bill, I'll go rewatch the movie. Jeez, twist my arm.
It's in that very last shot, and she's looking.
Oh.
I mean, it's. I guess.
Maybe they'll be my family.
But yeah, it's just. It feels. It pulled me out of it. I immediately focused on her bright white smile.
Sometimes a giant ass smile will take you out of the seriousness of the scene. I agree. I'm agreeing with that. Just want to throw that out there. Anyway,
do you have context for that? I'm curious.
There's this thing called End of Evangelion, and
God damn it! Okay, no, you're good. You're good.
I've been called a narcissist because 3 times they cut to a specific giant ass smile while serious shit's going down, and the 3rd time, comedy, rule of 3s. I laughed. I'm like, here it is again. It's coming. Ah! You narcissistic asshole. I have no attachment to these characters. This is the first thing I've seen from the series. That was so weird. Anyway, I'm just agreeing that a giant smile can take you out of the focus. That's all. Anyhow, that was the movie. As far as for superpowers, because we keep saying we're going to go across this power set real quick.
Yeah.
So let's see. There's the whole electrocommunication, like through thought waves, you can communicate. There's apparently
just blow out electronics, and just like overcharge them and blow out lights.
Yeah, there's some kind of electrokinesis as well, or at least telekinesis going on in certain parts. There's super strength, apparently.
On a scale.
I have to assume she has healing powers.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
No, she got shot twice and regularly tore her own skull open.
I think witnessing that final close up was confirmation of that. I think we are being shown it like becoming not a thing anymore. Like it's not even a scar or a crack. It's just like gone.
As such, that does make sense why the doctors may not have found him earlier. It's just healed up.
But
there's not a giant crack.
He's still back there.
There's a face. There's like teeth and a mouth.
The face is the teeth and mouth have been forced into her skull.
Yes, I've seen the movies.
Do you know what an MRI or an X-ray does?
Oh, well,
it looks past those things.
Well, that's assuming they did them. But yes, had they done them, yes, they should have found them.
Well, considering she was in there for 2 different major head traumas.
And I'm agreeing.
You would think.
Okay.
And, maybe it'd be part of her medical records from her childhood.
No, you can't find those.
Maybe
they're in the bottom floor of an asylum that
they just abandoned for some reason.
But they left one parking spot open.
In the back.
In the back.
You gotta walk through the playground.
Park on the edge of the cliff.
Why was that playground on the edge of the cliff?
Oh, God.
Maybe that cliff has deteriorated over the, and also
erosion.
It's only been.
It hasn't, Bill.
Erosion. Yeah.
No.
It hasn't been that long. I think they're posing that both of the sisters are in their 20s still.
No, 30.
Well, no, 30 because Cocoa. I'm sorry. I mean, Cocoa says to age the childhood Maddie up to 30, and then it's just a picture of.
Yeah, it's literally just a picture of our actress.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you brought her in.
Because it's the same exact wig. It's the same exact wig that little version of her is wearing, her mom is wearing, and our main character is wearing. It's the same fucking wig.
That's how you make sure that the resemblance stays.
Yeah, Bill, and Omari maybe as well, because you live in Orlando now, but you're originally not from Orlando. Where can I get a house with a giant industrial fan in the attic? Where do I get that? Can we shop for that down here? Is that a thing?
That is a thing.
With industrial fans?
Yeah, I have one.
I kind of want proof now. That was supposed to be a joke, and you.
So you open your windows and you turn it on, and it creates an air current. So like the cool air from outside, if the outside temperature is, and it like creates a cycling air current where you don't have to like. The idea would be you can not turn on your AC for like that many more weeks longer before it gets really hot outside. And
All right, Omari, is he lying to me or?
if I could move my camera, it's literally right outside.
I'm about to say that sounds very accurate of how one of those would work. I don't remember I've never been inside Bill's attic or nothing, but yeah, that's how one of those will work.
It's like an attic fan. I mean,
it was funnier before there was that.
It is a real thing. It is a real thing.
Okay, fair.
So up north, apparently, or at the very least in the Midwest, you can.
Well, yeah, because you guys get way too hot all the time. Probably, like as the second winter ends, you're bordering on AC turn on weather.
Yeah, all week of it.
We don't get first winter, Bill.
Where we have April and May, and then if you have one of these, maybe you can even get through a few weeks of June before you have to like kick on your AC and close all the windows and all that shit.
Okay. Now I know.
Yeah.
Who knew we were going to talk attic fans in this episode?
Right?
I mean, listen, this woman spends the entire movie chained up in an attic with an industrial fan in the background, which it provides for great shots, but has me going, my mom's attics have never had that fan in it. What's going on with those attics?
Now you know why. Because Florida. All right, so we can kind of skip over the roles we play, I think. It's not that many.
Yeah.
I'll be K. Final thoughts on the movie, Bill.
It was fun. It was fun to have the turn in it that made it a much more crazy, goofy, talkable movie than it was building up to, when I thought it was just going to be just kind of like a ABC horror movie of like this mystical ghost figure is like psychically connected to her. So when it does the third turn, I was really interested, and that's kind of what saved it for me into being a watchable film.
All right.
I don't know if I'll ever be running back to it, but I would say I had a good time.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
How about you, Omari?
Well, I have now seen the movie twice.
Why is that, Omari?
Well,
because it's great.
I saw it a couple weeks ago when we first were planning on doing it. Real life happened, and then we recorded it later than initially planned. So I wanted to refresh myself.
Right.
I wanted to refresh myself on the movie so I could understand some of my notes, because some of these I put way too many things. Like I put the whole glasses chick didn't deserve this and didn't remember what she didn't deserve. Because at first I'm like, I can go ahead and not rewatch the movie. I got all these notes. I can clearly look at these and remember. What didn't glasses chick deserve? Who was glasses chick?
I mean, she's the most unscathed of everyone.
Yeah.
Oh God,
no, I'm just saying.
She didn't even have to witness most of the shit going down in that building.
Yeah.
But also,
she was out of the closet.
That's what I'm saying. I typed that note when dude was coming down the hallway. I'm like, oh shit, don't deserve this. And then I'm like, oh, the filmmakers agree. Okay.
she did have that just line of, why am I calling the police? When she just comes upon Kakoa and
all partner. The police are here.
Yeah, it's like, why am I calling the police?
Police are here.
Sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, no. I've seen the movie twice now, and I enjoyed it more on the second viewing because I also noticed a lot more of things that I hadn't the first time I watched. Not sure if and when there would be a third watching of it. But I cannot sit here and say I wasn't entertained or I didn't have any fun while watching it.
Okay.
That's one of the staples on the things is I'm generally easy to please when it comes to movies. At least I think so. Some stuff I can be very nitpicky about, and then people are like, "Are you sure that person said this one line and that ruined the movie for you?" I'm like, "Oh."
I know nothing about what that's like.
But yeah, I do enjoy a lot of things. And so if I'm easily entertained, I'm not gonna I am also easily entertained. But if I'm entertained and there's a lot of fun stuff I can talk about and I can have fun talking about it with others and saying stuff like that, it's always an enjoyable experience for me. And that's what this movie was. Like, it led to this conversation, lots of laughs and stuff about the stuff, even the flawed things like some of the acting, some of the plot holes that if you turn your brain on to think about it, okay, maybe this don't make sense. But I like it when you can turn your brain on and laugh about the nonsense as opposed to be pissed off about the nonsense by turning your brain on. Like, that's just not how life fucking works. God fucking damn it. But it's like, come on now. This motherfucker went to the hospital for head trauma and they ain't find a fucking super tumor. Okay. Anyway. Whatever. Tell your story. Tell your story. So, I enjoyed it. A solid movie. Thank you for recommending it. And I do really enjoy the main character's performance. Like, she helps turn this movie into a good watching experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd second that.
And
she better. She's in
95%.
A lot of it. Yeah, she's carrying this for sure.
Yeah.
And because of that, yeah.
Good. It's like Bill, we've never met or conversed before. I was like, I don't know how into horror he is with Omari. I know him pretty well. I wanted to pick something fun. That's why I gave you guys the list I did. Trying not to stick to like, this is going to be the most horrifying thing you've ever seen. And you'll hate all insert however many minutes of it. But let's talk about it. You're not going to want to. So what's the point? I'm sad, like, oh yeah, Omari has seen Piranha 3D. Damn it. Because that thing's made of talking points. And
just the babies.
Spoilers, maybe next time it will be Crawl. Ultimately, between Malignant and Crawl, I ended up going Malignant because there's more talking points because of how insane this movie gets.
Mm-hmm.
That I think we can all agree with the jail cell. And then just that moment on, okay, let's go. And we're not going to stop anytime soon.
Yeah, that's where the brain meter for me fully got turned to just off. Just enjoy the ride.
Yep.
Also, the song they kept using throughout sounded a lot like music I've heard in John Wick movies as well.
It is a cover from the Pixies. I don't know if they...
The Pixies? Really?
Pixies.
Yeah.
Let me confirm.
What was it? Where's My Mind?
Yes. Yeah.
Am I thinking the same song?
I'm not. Well, I think Andrew and I are thinking of the one when she's like, "You're adopted," and I'm not a musician, so I can't. I'm not even going to attempt to mouth do it.
Doobadoo, there be notes.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
They don't sound anything like that, but
gotcha. But yeah, no. Good movie. So, if you want to see more of us, and if, Fluffles does end up coming back in the future, always welcome, of course, you can find that here on this channel. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast. We do episodes every week, every Wednesday. I do that show with another good friend of ours and a friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Stupid Jazz.
Or Stupid Jazz, depending on who you ask. Super Jazz.
Stupid Jazz, based on his opinion of the Brawley movie.
Fair enough. And yeah, we do new episodes every week, every Wednesday. I also have a Twitter and Twitch. That's Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in.
Stop on by.
Thank you. And yeah, Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks out there?
Well, I want to tell everybody that we are continuing my picks recently that are expanding the edges of what we are watching. And we're going to maybe go with our first documentary, which is So every year when a team in the Major League Baseball wins the World Series, they make a documentary film about that team. And so we are going to watch the 2011 World Series film starring my beloved St. Louis Cardinals.
And
next week on This Guy Hasn't Seen.
That's right. And Fluffles, you got anything you want to say? Any shout-outs you want to make? Any place where people can find you?
No, you can't find me anywhere except that's where I live.
Fair.
I'm going to touch back on something from the past when you guys watched Jesus Christ Superstar, best musical ever. Omari, I know that you want to be Judas because Carl Anderson, he's kind of the main character, really, if you think about it. You would have also been a great hype man. You would have made a great Simon.
Okay.
Even if the movie is gets a little funny in his song with like But you would have been a great Simon.
Yeah, thank you. I can see that. Yeah. So yeah, that's what we got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you very much, Fluffles, for coming out.
Thank you both. This was awesome and much less terrifying than the job interview. My stomach was like, "Hey, this is how this feels." Last night.
Nah, it's literally just hey, 3 butts chilling, talking about a movie we watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you guys next week with the Cardinals World Series from 2011 film. Adios.
I might watch me some baseball.
Yeah.
Have a good night.